Hello everybody and welcome to the Christmas calendar with Captain Future, day 3. Today we're going to talk about my favorite subject apart from the future, that is storytelling and fairy tales and imagination. And why is that so important? Because our brain inside our head, it's a pattern recognition machine, and it puts a small pattern together to bigger patterns, and bigger patterns are for us what we call stories. And the brain thinks in stories, it recognizes stories, and it sorts things in stories in various ways: visual stories, word stories, audio stories, and such. And they connect them together to form patterns of meta stories. That's why our brain loves stories so much, and good stories that it can recognize the pattern in and store them, and it just loves that. That's why we love stories as a part of that. And is this good or bad? Of course it's good. Throughout history and our whole human history, we have learned everything we need to know about everything through stories. The better the story, the better we remember it, and the better we can retell it. So, and that's why in modern marketing, people are suddenly talking about storytelling, but that's the only thing that ever has been for us. Everything is storytelling for us. It's just now that they're recognizing it. And also TV series that on Netflix, and binge watching and watching fantastic Marvel movies that are so super storytelling movies are so good for us. And why is that? Because in every story there is messages that our brain looks for, because it has been trained throughout the history, last 70,000 years, when we have this ability, cognitive ability. We have transferred all our knowledge and knowing through stories, so the brain knows that everything that's in a story is important. And that's another reason why the brain loves stories, because it's about survival. Everything the brain needs to know is hidden in some story. And now we make modern stories without hidden messages, or maybe bad hidden messages, and the brain still looks for them, and then the brain still supplies them without you knowing of this. Of course, it does this without telling you. The sneaky bastard brain, eh? So that's why we need to make better stories, because with good stories we can portray and tell better messages that we brain can look for and then apply to our daily lives. And of course, one of my favorite books is about this, is The Science of Discworld 2 with Terry Pratchett and Ian McKellen and Ian Stewart and Jack Cohen and Terry Pratchett, that is, yeah. And also The Storytelling Animal with Jonathan Gottschall. It's an awesome book about this. Two of my favorite books about how the brain thinks in story and why this is so important. There are fairly few books written about this on such an important topic. I haven't found so many more good. So if you know any good books or anything about this, please tip me off or contact me and talk about this. And I'm gonna finish this session today with reading my favorite part from another Terry Pratchett book called Hogfather, because it's soon Christmas. Or maybe I should save that for later. I think I'll save that for later in the Christmas calendar. Yes. And storytelling, yeah. So indulge yourself in storytelling, and please try actively think what is the messages buried in this story that your brain are not going to tell you about. Because if you can find out without your brain telling you directly, this is a good thing. Then you start recognizing and looking for good patterns, and then you can actually discuss what is the message buried in this story and that story and such. So watch your favorite TV series and movies, or read your favorite books, and start discussing what are the hidden messages in every book, movies. And all the good books and movies, they all had lots of good hidden messages. And one of my good movie I actually saw this week was Captain Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen, and there he teaches his children who lives in the forest to read many books, and he wants his daughter to tell him what's this little bit about, and she starts recalling the story. No, what's the story about, he says, and then of course there's a hidden message in that story, but that's just an example. But that's a meta example of that, a movie discussing a story inside a book and such. So please tip me off if you have more good example of this. I just love this. So yes, So indulge yourself in story, and as it's December and soon it's Christmas, we will spend a lot of time indoors here in Sweden at least, and we're gonna watch a lot of TV and movies. And I will just watch Arrival yesterday with a good story about how we need to connect the world and start communicating with each other. It's the hidden story message in that story. And soon, new Star Wars movies coming up, 14th of December here in Sweden at least. And I'm gonna have 3 future lances about the message in this new Star Wars movie, that is, what can a small band of rebels do that is larger than themselves, that in doing that they also become part of that larger thing than themselves. And this is a very important message for our history, because all change and all change makers has been part of a small group of band of rebels on sort of kind that actually changed the world. And of course, one of my favorite quotes is also about that. Never doubt that a small small group of people is able to change the world. Indeed, that's the only thing that has ever been. Margaret Mead is that. I'll link that quote in this as well. So if you want to come to my future lunches about when we talk about storytelling and how we can use that message in our daily lives and entrepreneurships and endeavors and enterprises and adventures or journeys or quests or everything, please join me. It is the 14th of December, actual Star Wars premiere day in Halmstad, and the 15th of December in my hometown now, Varberg, and the 16th of December in Gothenburg. So 3 events during 3 days about this message that is part of the storytelling in Star Wars, the new movie. And yes, I'm going to talk about this for hours, but I'm going to leave you now. And please enjoy your next story, and please make your brain tell you what hidden messages it has found that is previous has not told you about, and to start discussing this with friends, and we can enjoy so much better storytelling, and we can make the storytellers, this is Hollywood, make better stories for us when we start enjoying the good stories and starting not enjoying the bad stories that were bad messages or no significant message at all. So, and I'm gonna leave you off with tips of some of my favorite TV series with good messages, of course. Then, one of them is, of course, the pirate series Black Sails. That's all about stoicism and making the right thing and understanding civilization. If you look for all those messages, you see this TV series about pirates in the Caribbean is filled with these messages. And actually, Marcus Aurelius' book Meditation is actually a plot device throughout the second season as well, and in one episode it plays a significant message bearer as well. So look for that. And other stories I like is, of course, the new Expanse TV series that's soon, season 2 next January, but season 1 can you see in Swedish Netflix now. It's about imminent future when we started mining the asteroids. It's not a likely future, but it's a future that asks a lot of what if questions. So I'll leave you with that. For storytelling is one of my favorite way of creating the future, and you should look for that as well. Signing out now. Bye bye from Captain Future.